Hi, State Representative Ben Frederick here. Happy March is Reading Month. I'm sorry I'm going to miss actually speaking to you in your classrooms today, but I know you're going to have a lot of time with your family, your parents, your grandparents. Reading is a wonderful way to spend that time. And I'm excited to share a book with you today called Sleep Tight Farm. Now this book, for the parents watching, is probably about second grade to fourth grade level, but any age can benefit from it. You can learn a lot about farming and the things that happen when a farm prepares for winter. So let's get started. Sleep Tight Farm, a farm prepares for winter. The December days shorten and darken. We are busy putting the farm to bed. With our crops mostly in, strawberries, raspberries, vegetables, honey, and hay, now is the time to prepare for deep frost, the coming wind, and snow. Many hands make work light, Mom says. Now you probably have something that you need to do around the house too, things that Mom's asking you about. It's the same way on the farm. Everybody has a job to do. We shake straw over berry plants to blanket them from winter's frosty bite. Next April and May, they'll leaf out green and blossom white. In June, they'll give fruit so red and juicy, we'll make jam and freeze berries to eat until summer comes again. We lick our lips remembering good night strawberries covered with straw. That's where that name comes from, strawberries. See this here, covering the berries with straw. We cut kale and chard and broccoli. We saw down tree-like Brussels sprouts. We dig for the last carrots, beets, and potatoes to add to those stored in the barn. There they await winter markets and our own winter meals. Up above here in the hayloft, a mountain of harvested hay bales stands ready to sell. The fields rest brown and bare. Dad tills and plants a cover of oats and rye to protect and replenish the fields that gave us so much. Good night, fields, peaceful and still. Dad cuts back the raspberries before wind and snow can crack the canes. We cart the old brush to burn. Goodbye to last year's twigs and leaves with their bugs and spots. The promise of late summer's plump fruit lies in roots tucked underground. Good night, raspberries, resting below. We stack wood by the house and in the sugar house too. It will heat our home all winter, and in early spring it will fuel the fire that boils maple sap into maple syrup. Do you like maple syrup? I know I do. Good night, stacked wood, waiting to work. Before the winter winds come howling, we secure the hoop houses' plastic sides with ropes and bales of hay. Inside, we float sheets of white cloth over the baby greens until the New Year's thaw. Safe under cover rest little leaves with mouth-filling names like spinach, mizuna, tatsoi, arugula. Those are fun words to say, aren't they? Our winter salad greens will nap until stronger sun can wake them. Last August, the hoop house grew so hot, we rolled up the sides and we flung open the doors while picking tomatoes, melons, and heat-loving okra. Now we button up the perfect shelter for changing weather. Good night, hoop house, wrapped up tight. See, these things on the farm, they actually change in purpose throughout the year. When things are cold, it protects from wind and the elements, but then this same structure during the warmth becomes a greenhouse where you capture the moisture and the heat. And a lot of things on a farm, they have different purposes throughout the year. We board up chinks in the chicken coop and we set a timer to give the hens the light they need to lay eggs all winter. We fluff the nests with hay, plug in the water heater, scoop fresh grain. We collect the day's eggs, fragile gifts from our friends. Good night, chickens, snug in your coop. With bales of hay, we build a windbreak for the beehives, and we place a stone on each lid to hold it firm. We make the hive entrances smaller to keep roaming field mice out. Within each hive, a single queen lies in a cluster of maids working to keep her fed. In September, we harvested honey and wax, but left enough for the bees who made enough for us. See, that's important that we share in these things. Notice it didn't say we took all the honey. We took what we needed for food and supplies, but we left some for the bees too so they can come back and be healthy next year. Good night, bees, sheltered and safe. The farm stand is stocked for the holidays with fresh eggs, greens and roots, onions and garlic braids, decorative corn, honey and maple syrup. There's plenty for us and plenty to sell. See, when farmers have enough food for their families, they love sharing it with us. Do you know about our farm market? We have a farm market here. We have farm markets in a lot of communities. And that's when farmers share the extra food that they have. I'd encourage you to talk to your parents about going to visit our farm markets. Mom and Dad moved planter, cultivator, tiller, and baler into the equipment shed, a shelter from rust and cold. The tractors go in last. Now, I get this question a lot. Why do you think the tractors go in last? The tractor is the most important piece of equipment a farmer has because it moves all the rest. So in the wintertime, it may actually have a plow attached to it for moving snow. In the summertime, for harvesting and planting, the tractor is the most important tool. Good night, farm. The fire jumps in the wood stove. We feast on homegrown treats, vegetable soup, and berry pie. We pull clinking lights from a box, untangle tangles, to hang on the porch. Look, Mom says, the rising moon, the bright sway of stars in the sky. We light beeswax candles to soften the longest night. The farm is ready for down quilts of snow, the shh of the wind. Good night, farmers. Sleep tight. Sleep tight, farm. Now, I was so excited to share that book with you, and I hope that you'll consider, if you don't have a farm, maybe in your family, that you go visit a farm. This book was actually chosen by farmers around our state a couple of years ago as their favorite book. And what a delight to share it with you today. I hope you'll enjoy this and many other books as part of March's reading.